I've flown enough to know what separates passengers who stumble off the plane looking like they survived a natural disaster from the ones who walk out looking fresh. And it's not luck. It's 11 specific moves most people never think to make. You want to know the difference between a miserable flight and a decent one? It happens in the first 5 minutes after boarding, not during the flight, not at baggage claim, right when you sit down. Let me walk you through what I do every single time and why it actually matters. Number 1. The sanitation reality check. Here's something airlines would prefer you didn't think about too hard. That tray table you're about to eat off of? When's the last time someone actually cleaned it? Airlines have about 20 minutes to flip a plane between flights. In that time, they're restocking snacks, checking safety equipment, doing a visual sweep. What they're not doing? Disinfecting every surface you're about to touch. The tray table had 8 times more bacteria per square inch than a public toilet seat. 8 times. The place where you're about to eat your sandwich is literally dirtier than a gas station bathroom. I'm not saying this to gross you out. I'm saying this because it's true, and you can do something about it in about 45 seconds. Bring disinfectant wipes. Wipe down these surfaces before you settle in. Tray table, top and latch. Armrests, both sides. Seat belt buckle. Touch screen if you've got one. Air vent dial. Window shade handle. Do this while you're still standing. It's faster, less awkward, and you won't be reaching over people later. Is it paranoid? Maybe. But I haven't had a post-flight cold in 3 years, and I used to get one after every trip. Your call. Number 2. The air vent trick. That little overhead nozzle? Most people either shut it off completely or blast it directly at their face. Both wrong. Harvard researchers found that when positioned correctly, that air vent creates an invisible barrier that pushes airborne particles away from your breathing zone, literally pushes germs away from you. But here's what nobody tells you. Aiming it directly at your face dries out your skin and eyes. Feels uncomfortable, so people turn it off entirely and lose the protection. The move. Set it to medium flow. Angle it slightly in front of your face, not on your face. You get germ protection without the discomfort. Do this before your row fills up. Reaching across seated passengers later to adjust your air vent. Awkward for everyone involved. Number 3. The 90-second drill. Quick question. How long do you have to evacuate a plane in an emergency? The FAA requires every aircraft to evacuate fully in 90 seconds or less. Hundreds of people. In smoke. In darkness. 90 seconds. Most passengers assume they'll figure it out if something happens. In reality, panic freezes people. The ones who survive emergencies are the ones who mentally rehearsed before anything went wrong. Here's the 10-second drill I do every flight. Count rows to my nearest exit, forward and back. Physically look at those doors. Picture myself moving toward them. Sounds paranoid? Air France, Flight 358 in Toronto, 2005. Plane skidded off the runway, burst into flames. The passengers who'd counted rows to exits survived. The ones who froze trying to figure out where to go didn't move fast enough. 10 seconds. Every flight. Maybe you'll never need it. But if you do, those 10 seconds are priceless. Number 4. The overhead bin strategy. You know what slows down every boarding process? People shoving bags into overhead bins with zero thought about physics or spatial reasoning. Here's what flight attendants do. And yes, I've watched them enough to steal their system. Place rolling bags, wheels first. This cuts space usage in half compared to laying them flat. Just rotate the bag 90 degrees before lifting. Takes zero extra effort, saves massive space. Backpacks go under the seat in front of you, not overhead. Don't waste overhead space on something that fits perfectly under a seat. Here's the genius part I learned from a flight attendant in Dallas. Put your bag in the bin on the opposite side of your seat. When you deplane, you reach across and grab it without fighting the crowd in your row. Smooth exit while everyone else is gridlocked. One more thing. Keep a small essentials pouch ready. Headphones, meds, charger, glasses. Slip it into the seat pocket before you sit. You're not digging through overhead bins mid-flight while people wait. Number 5. The seat pocket trap. That mesh pocket in front of you? It's where thousands of passports, wallets, and phones go to die every month. People stick valuables in there during the flight. Credit card to hold their place in a magazine. Phone while watching the seat back screen. Passport because it felt bulky in their pocket. Then they deplane and forget everything. Items slide deep into the fabric, get crushed by magazines, or just vanish into whatever dimensional portal exists in seat pockets. My rule: never put anything in the seat pocket you can't afford to lose. Water bottle? Fine. In-flight magazine? Sure. Anything valuable? Zippered pouch in your personal item or jacket pocket. For overnight flights, set up your comfort gear, neck pillow, eye mask, headphones before takeoff. You're not disturbing seatmates later by standing up and rummaging in the dark, and keep a pen handy. International flights require customs forms. You'll look like a genius when everyone else is begging flight attendants for one. Number 6. The hydration reality. At cruising altitude, cabin humidity drops to 10 to 20%. For reference, the Sahara Desert averages around 25%. You're literally sitting in an environment drier than one of the driest places on Earth. Your body dehydrates faster than you realize. That tiny cup of water they hand you once during a 5-hour flight? Nowhere close to enough. Here's what actually works. Start hydrating the second you sit down. Not coffee, not soda. Those dehydrate you more. Plain water, sipped steadily throughout the flight. I bring an empty reusable bottle through security and fill it before boarding. I'm not waiting for flight attendants to make their rounds, and I'm staying ahead of dehydration instead of chasing it. The difference is noticeable. Headaches, fatigue, that general feeling of being wrung out after a flight, most of that is dehydration. Fixing it is embarrassingly simple. Number 7. The comfort setup. Most passengers just accept whatever awkward position the seat offers. Smart travelers customize immediately. Adjust the headrest wings inward. They're not decorative. They actually cradle your head and prevent neck strain during naps. No wings on your seat? Roll up a scarf or jacket for neck support. Tuck something behind your lower back. Airplane seats are designed for cost, not spinal health. A pillow or rolled jacket makes hours of difference. Test your seat recline before takeoff. Know your range. You won't shock the person behind you later by suddenly dropping into their lap. And cue up your in-flight entertainment right now. Those systems freeze or reboot mid-flight with surprising frequency. Getting your movie ready early prevents that frustration. One more. Keep medications in your personal item under the seat, not in the overhead bin. You want immediate access, not to be standing in the aisle digging through luggage while people wait. Number 8. The seatmate. Hello. I know, you don't want to talk to strangers. Neither do I most of the time. But here's the thing. A quick hello makes everything else easier. Just a smile, a heading home, maybe 30 seconds of light conversation. Why does this matter? If you need to get up later, and you will, especially on longer flights, it's way less awkward asking someone you've already greeted. Sometimes these exchanges lead to useful travel tips, business connections, even friendships. The key is balance. Light conversation, then signal boundaries with headphones or a book. You're being friendly, not conducting an interview. For those of us over a certain age who need to stand occasionally for circulation, mentioning it up front avoids repeated apologies. Hey, just so you know, I might need to get up a couple times. Circulation thing. Done. They're not surprised or annoyed later. Number 9. The time zone shift. Want to beat jet lag? Change your watch to your destination's time the moment you board. This tiny mental shift signals your brain to start adjusting before you even leave the ground. It sounds too simple to work, but it genuinely helps. If it's nighttime at your destination, act like it's bedtime. Dim screens, close the shade, eye mask, try to sleep. Even if it's noon where you departed. If it's daytime at your destination, stay alert. Keep screens bright, shade open, don't nap no matter how tempting. I've tested this on enough transatlantic flights to confirm it works. The difference between arriving jet-lagged versus adjusted is massive, and this is the easiest intervention I've found. Number 10. The bathroom awareness. Here's what experienced travelers notice immediately: where the lavatories are and which flight attendants are assigned to their section. Why lavatories? If turbulence hits mid-flight, you'll know the closest bathroom without awkwardly wandering the aisle asking for directions. Why flight attendants? You know exactly who to ask when you need water, blankets, or help. And here's the insider truth. Flight attendants remember passengers who smiled and said thank you at boarding. Be polite early, get better service throughout the flight. One timing note. Use the restroom before meal service starts. Once those carts roll out, you're trapped until service ends. Could be 30 to 45 minutes of uncomfortable waiting. Number 11. The mental checklist. Final thing I do every flight takes maybe 10 seconds. Check seatbelt is secure. Remind myself where both exits are. Quick mental picture of moving toward them if needed. Psychologists call this mental rehearsal. Studies show it dramatically improves reaction speed during actual emergencies. U.S. Airways Flight 1549. The Miracle on the Hudson. Passengers who'd mentally prepared evacuated faster. In freezing water, every second mattered. Most people tune out safety briefings entirely. They assume they'll figure it out if something happens. In emergencies, panic kills. Preparation saves. You'll probably never need this. But if you do, those 10 seconds of mental rehearsal could make all the difference. None of these moves are complicated. None require special equipment beyond basic wipes and a water bottle. But together, they transform the flying experience from endurance test to something actually manageable. I'm not saying flights become enjoyable. Let's not get carried away. But there's a massive difference between stumbling off a plane dehydrated, sick, and disoriented versus walking off feeling basically human. The passengers who look fresh after long flights aren't lucky. They're not in first class. They're just doing these 11 things that most people never think about. Which one will you actually use on your next flight? The sanitation wipes, the air vent positioning, the mental exit rehearsal? Pick one. Try it. See if it makes a difference. And if you've got your own boarding ritual that works, drop it in the comments. I'm always looking for ways to make this whole process less miserable. Thanks for flying smarter with Journey Tips. Safe travels, and I'll see you on the next one.